Hey, welcome back. Here's everything you need to know to get started on trombone. You might have just had your first lesson and you get home and you can't remember how to put the thing together or how to hold it or how to make a sound. We cover all of that right here in this video. So you have everything you need to know to practice this week before your next lesson. First of all, we're going to start with the trombone mouthpiece. Leave everything in the case for right now and you're just going to take the mouthpiece out. We did this in your lesson. But you're going to make sure to buzz your lips, and this is a great way to get started on the instrument each time you get it out to play. You're going to make a buzzing sound for about 30 seconds. Remember, our lips come together, kind of like we're saying M, M, and then just making a goofy buzzing sound. There might be spit, that's fine, don't worry about it. And you're going to make that sound into your trombone mouthpiece. Just like that. So try and make that buzzing sound up and down for 30 seconds. And you can start to do sirens where you go like that. Those are great ways to get started on the horn for the day. So after you've done that for 30 seconds, we're now going to talk about how to put the instrument together. So first, we're going to start with the slide part of the trombone. Now, since I'm holding the mouthpiece, I'm going to go ahead and just put this in the mouthpiece receiver. Notice we have a long end and a short end. The mouthpiece goes in the short end. You're just going to push on it. You don't need to pop it or like wrench on it really hard. As long as it's in there firmly, you'll be okay. We just don't want to we just want to make sure it doesn't get stuck. Now, there's something really important for trombone players is this slide lock. You want to make sure that this is on all the time when you're not playing. That keeps the slide from coming out when you don't want it to. Now, if the slide lock's not on, you're not paying attention or whatever it is, and then whoop, your slide comes clear off, and then you find ninth position is what I call it, when the slide flies off. And that's an easy way to damage the slide. So just make sure you keep that slide lock on every time when you're not playing. So you're going to take the slide portion of it and the bell portion of it, and you're just going to put these two together like this, and then create a right angle. Okay. Then you're just going to tighten that little nut down so it's nice and firm. You want to make sure it's not going to move on you. Sometimes we don't tighten that tight enough and this thing flops over on us. So it should look just like that, so that the bell side of it is on your left ear, not your right ear. Okay. So holding the trombone, this can be kind of tricky for some. This bar right here with your left hand, you're going to put your thumb right on the lower part of that bar, and then your fingers go through this square part right here. So from this side, you're going to put your thumb here, and then all your fingers go through there. Okay, that's going to help you feel most stable on it. Now, your right hand, you're going to use these two fingers here and your thumb, and you're just going to grab the slide right there. Okay. Now, the slide lock should still be on until you go to play. Okay. So trombone should look like this, up to our face like this. Now let's talk about the first three notes that we learned in your lesson. So we first of all talked about D, which is in fourth position. Fourth position is where this part of the slide is even with the bell. Okay. If we're playing a D, it's going to sound like this. And if you're looking at number 1 in your book, that'll last for 4 beats. 4 beats of rest, 4 beats of playing a D whole note, 4 beats of a whole rest, and so on. Okay, so that should sound just like that. If it's higher, like that, then just relax. Think ah, open up, think looser lips. Just like that. If it's coming out too low, like that, it might be because you're trying to puff your cheeks or your lips are just a little bit too loose. So keep those corners set. Don't let those cheeks puff. Okay. And then after you've gotten your D down, you can go to C. For you at about this point, it's going to be about as long as your arm is, and then probably a little bit longer than that. So make sure you're using your fingertips so you can stretch all the way, straighten that arm all the way out, and then C should sound like this. And again, that's 6th position, so that's all the way out. So we have 4th position for our D, and then C is 6th position. Okay, the final note that we learned in your lesson is 1st position. That one's pretty easy to remember because it's just all the way in. That one's the lowest one that we worked on, and it sounds like this. So nice and low. Sometimes an F will come out, it comes out a little high or a little too low, so make those adjustments to match that pitch. Sometimes if it comes out too high, it's because we're just moving our air too fast. and we need to think big, foggy air. I call it Darth Vader air. If we're thinking like that, it makes our low notes come out just a little bit easier. So those are your first 3 notes. Hopefully that helps you as you're getting started at home. Now, let's talk about how we're going to start each note while we're playing. So each note is going to start from the tip of our tongue. So if you were to say 2, that's how your notes start. Like that. You want to avoid going or pulsing your air like that. Okay, so just make sure that you're starting each note from the tip of your tongue like that. Okay, it's going to make your life easier down the road as we get to playing more notes and faster rhythms. If you want to work ahead this week, you can try to tongue multiple notes on the same note there. So if I was playing a D, it would sound like this. Moving only your tongue. I hope that's helpful. Don't forget, 5 times in a week is the recipe for success. We'll see you next time.